Uber and Lyft have an upfront fare problem. How can they fix it? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to the Rideshare Guy. And that's right, Uber and Lyft have a massive upfront fares problem, especially when it comes to drivers. Passengers, well, you're pretty much gonna pay what you get for, and that's what it is. But when it comes to drivers, there's a massive upfront fares problem that is 150% benefiting Uber and Lyft, and it's screwing drivers. And now Uber and Lyft are creating their own problems from it. So let's talk about what the problems are. Let's talk about how they can fix it by doing one simple thing. And, then I want to know what your thoughts are on this too. So make sure you put them in the comments. But let's start off. So around 2022, Uber and Lyft came up with this fantastic idea of thing called upfront fares. And basically, they showed you the pickup, the drop-off, and how much you were going to get paid for that trip. And it sounds great. And it looks great because now you have that information. You have a great decision basis on if you want to take a ride because you know if it's going to take you somewhere where you want to go or somewhere where you don't want to go. So you can decline or accept based on what that factor is. And then, of course, you see the price. You see how much you're going to get paid. Is it worth it to take or not? And then that way you can decide if you want to take it or not. Well, since the implementation of upfront fares, we have seen a massive acceptance rate problem across both Uber and Lyft that has bled into so many different problems. And first off, they have created the problem of no drivers picking up certain rides because they don't want to take it. They see what they're getting paid and they say, there's no way I'm taking this. So they let the ride sit there. And of course, the passenger is going to get pissed off, whether they get the ride or not, or some dumb schmuck takes that particular ride or not, who knows? But a lot of drivers are saying no to these rides. So then, well, what's happening after that? Well, Uber and Lyft are trying many different things. They're trying to show you something called advantage versus standard. And you have to have at least a minimum threshold of 25%. And this came to a 5% pay increase. But the problem is when it comes to these payments, Uber says, there's 70 different factors that factor into the fare. That seems like it's an absolute ridiculous amount to me. Why the hell would you need 70 different factors? That just sounds like a bunch of garbled marbled nothing. Absolute nonsense. And really, it comes down to two things: time and distance. That's what you got paid. That's what you got paid as a taxi cab driver. That's what you pay as a taxi cab passenger. That's what you got paid as an Uber and Lyft driver, all the way up until this upfront fares. And so they decided, we got 73 different factors. I think they just threw that number out there, to be honest. How many factors really? And then it's so opaque, you don't know. And you could take similar rides that have similar pickup distances, similar drop-offs, and they don't have anything around the same when it comes to a pricing. There's no match whatsoever. It makes no sense. And so when you add that up, it just sits in my stomach really wrong, and it tastes really bad. And then you couple it with a lot of the things that we're seeing beyond just advantage and standard. And when I'm talking about advantage versus standard, 5% of what? It's so opaque, you have no idea. So they could be paying you absolutely nothing more. They could say that they're paying you more, but in reality, how are you going to know? There's nothing to back that claim up. Absolutely nothing. You just don't have any idea. And then on top of it, we're seeing a lot of things where fares are getting shaved. You're seeing the difference between drivers, and they're showing two different prices, even though the phones are sitting right next to each other. And you see two different prices of what the payment could be. You also see different maps, different surge maps, and different things like that. So they're manipulating everything on the app into their favor. And now you're seeing drivers get a trip radar or an exclusive, and then maybe they're going to go click it, maybe they're not. But the second time it comes around or the third time it comes around, you might see up to a 30% difference. And it's not going up, it's going down. So you might see a ride come in at $10, and then it'll come in the exact same ride a little bit later, maybe a minute or two later, and it's only $7. So what's going on with that? Again, completely opaque algorithm when it comes to the pay. You have no idea what you're getting paid. Then you couple it with surge, you couple it with a couple of other things. Does it really make any sense? No, it doesn't. It's arbitrary. You have no idea the numbers. I don't think they know the numbers. I think they just pick it based on the algorithm, and the algorithm says, oh, this is what we're going to pay you for this trip. Whether it's based on 70 different factors or whatever the algorithm says, this is the trip that people should take it for, and it's to maximize our profit as a company. And I think one of the worst offenses that we're starting to see now is when a rider adds a stop in the trip, that passenger is paying a lot more, sometimes double more. But the driver may be making only a few dollars more, or actually less than what they had accepted on the original ride. We've seen this a few times now. So let's say a passenger was paying $20 for the ride and the driver was making $10. We'll just keep it simple. So driver's making 10, passenger paid 20. Oh no, I forgot. I got to add a stop on this. So I got to go back. I had to go to location A, and that was my drop off, but now I got to go back to where I came from. So the ride's going to double. So now instead, that passenger is paying $40, but the driver may only make $12. So do you see the problem here that we're facing? And when it comes down to pay, this is massive. This is coming out to be extremely in Uber and Lyft's benefit. Always in Uber and Lyft's benefit. But drivers still are not accepting rides. They're also rolling out Uber Pro. Uber Pro is changing how they are giving Advantage and Standard. They're rolling Advantage versus Standard and Uber Pro into one. But as a Diamond driver, now you have many more requirements in order just to get Diamond status. For what, 5% more pay? That may not even be. So that means now you have to accept 70% of your rides. What happens if they're crap? What happens if they're going into areas that you don't want to go? What happens if they're really long rides and you don't want to backtrack all those miles? What happens when the pay is not worth it? So now they're adding this 70% just to stay Diamond, and then you could get 5%. But the reality is you could actually cherry pick and you don't even have to worry about that 5%. Because in reality, if you're only taking rides that are worth it, you're going to end up making more than accepting everything. So now that we've gone through what upfront fares are and the many problems that are happening when it comes to putting these fares into Uber and Lyft's favor versus the driver's favor, and how they're screwing drivers and passengers at both sides and collecting all that gap as much as they can, what is the one thing that could fix all of this? What is the one thing that could fix the acceptance rate problem, the bullshit shaving, the everything else that is going on that we just talked about? What is the one thing that they could do? I could say, oh, all I got to do is pay more for the rides and acceptance rates are going to go up and, everybody's going to be happy and all this crazy stuff. But in reality, yes, higher pay would be. But the problem is it comes down to the upfront fare itself. What is it based on? 70 different factors? I don't think so. I think it's based on one factor, and that is the calculation that the algorithm is making for that particular ride to extend how much the passenger will pay versus how low the driver will take it. So what can Uber and Lyft do to make it completely fair for drivers? They should probably go back to just time and distance. Why? Keep it simple, stupid. It's so easy to just keep it so simple. That's all you have to worry about. Keeping it simple. Time and distance. You can take the calculation based on the pickup, the drop off, and you calculate that. And then you show that upfront estimate. It's an upfront fare estimate. It's not necessarily going to be what you see on there. It's going to give you an estimate. So you see the pickup, you see the drop off, you could take it if you want, you don't have to take it, doesn't matter. But everything is based on time and distance. So there's no rate rebalancing. There's no long rides that are only paying 45 cents a mile. There's no short rides that are paying something that shouldn't be paid. Everything is exactly where it should be. And in any event that there's any problems, like wait time changes, or if there's problems when it comes to adding a stop, pay shaving, all this crap, it goes away. You see what you're making, you know the pickup and drop off, so you're informed on the decisions that you want to make. So it's a hybrid system. You bring back the time and the distance and you factor it based on that. So the actual time and the actual distance it takes to pick up and drop off a passenger. That's what it should be. That's where it should stay. And what should the rates be? Well, go back to your 2022 rates, but increase it. Why? because that was from 2022. It's now 2026, and we've gone through massive amounts of inflation and problems when it comes to trying to maintain our cars and all of that stuff. So this is something I would love to see Uber and Lyft actually roll out to make it improvement where you don't have all these problems, where you don't have all these issues, because we're seeing it on both Uber and Lyft's side of things. They're both doing it, and they're both trying to collect as much as they can from the passenger and screw the driver as best they can and collect that gap. So they maximize their profits, and they don't give a shit about the drivers. So the reality comes down to they need to base it on something concrete. It needs to be based on time and distance. And you show that upfront fare, but it's an estimate. It's not, it gives you a roundabout. It doesn't give you the exact figure, it gives you the roundabout. And then that way, you know, if something happens, like you get stuck in a traffic jam for an hour and a half for whatever reason, or, you know, something beyond your control that happens, you're able to get justly compensated for that. But I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you like the time and distance rates that we used to have? Do you like the upfront fares that we have now? Do you want a hybrid system? Do you think that Uber and Lyft even care about that? Or do you think that this is something that we'd have to look at when it comes to state AGs and different things when it comes to getting pay rates like what Seattle and Washington State have, what Minnesota has, and a couple other areas as well? Not this per hour addendum crap, but actual time and distance rates. Put in the comments what you think. Now, if you want to know, is it still worth it in 2026 to be an Uber and Lyft driver? Well, check out this video right here. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.